Hi everyone, I'm just coming home from about a 2-hour walk in the woods. I just am in love with being in nature and just taking the time to step out and be with the trees and the earth and the sky. Look at the sky tonight, it's crazy. So here's a question for you. Why do you think shame feels so painful and so yucky and icky in your body? I would venture to say that most of the patterns that we have of either people pleasing or overdoing or perfectionism, um, all the patterns that we get stuck in are pretty much a response to shame that we picked up, we developed, we downloaded as children, where there was that moment where we had to abandon our authenticity for being attached to our parents. We had to change who we are naturally, to be somebody or something else. And we developed these patterns because they work for a period of time. And then, later on, when we start to develop anxiety, chronic pain, burnout, depression, we start to slow down and have to go back down into our body. And usually one of the stumbling blocks is when we hit a pocket of shame. So why is it so painful? Grief, when we feel it, we could call it painful, but if you think about it, grief, when you're really crying out a loss, crying out a sadness, that's not pain in itself. That's crying out sadness. We could categorize it as painful, but think about how natural and flowing that is when you let it flow. Anxiety is often putting a lid on top of other emotions. And when we lift the lid, there they are. But shame itself is one that we avoid with a 10-foot pole because it feels so terrible. And here's why. Because it's not your natural self. That's why it feels so painful. Pain is always a resistance to your natural self. Now, your natural self might feel grief and sadness and anger and all of those things. That's pretty natural flow of things. But shame is a different animal because it is an absolute contradiction to who you truly are. You are enough. You're not a sinner. You haven't done anything wrong. At your true natural self, when you were born in the womb, was enough. You still are. And shame is what takes us out of that natural flow. So next time you feel it, can you just be with it? Know that when it is seen, heard, and felt, then it gets a chance to release. But often we're so busy reacting to it that we never actually get to the core of it. Down to the core, down to ground zero, down to the deep, dark womb of your own belly. Go there. Maybe with support. Maybe with a womb breathwork journey with me. Release the shame of who you thought you were supposed to be, and it will be replaced with who you truly are. And that's my promise to you.